Welcome to the Future Skills Podcast. In this Best Bits episode, we're going to be hearing from James Norton from OVO Energy and Paul Mumford from Search Energy and their advice on getting into the smart metering industry and also the future opportunities it may hold. Let's get started with James Norton from OVO Energy.
Talk to people, there's lots of good posts on LinkedIn, there's a lot, things like that. It's really get involved and really understand. So I think having a good energy understanding and awareness and a good customer focus is key. And if you feel you're there, and I'm not saying everyone's got to be technical, don't be afraid if you're not technical, it doesn't mean you're not technical. You may have not just had the opportunity to be technical. So if you've got a passion or something for, might want to try rewiring a plug or something, and you think, yeah, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
If that's the direction you want to go, I think it's an amazing opportunity to be in. And there's this, coming back to why we're recruiting more is because those people have come into the industry, got the skills, and they've moved on, whether into different, so it's definitely, even if it's just a stepping stone into kind of a different industry that they've been in before, but don't be too scared of thinking, oh, well, I've never done anything technical before. If that is something you want to go into, come and talk to, you can always inquire, I'm sure, with the different training providers like yourselves, Universal Skills, talk to other people through chat groups and networks. There's loads of network groups out there that they can talk to and try and get that generated. I do champion it quite a lot, especially with the apprentices. I remember I've been in, coming back from Manchester after going out and you're in there and talking to taxi drivers of kind of, you want to have a look, just check when there's a postcode, just get online and register your interest in the companies, because that's the other thing is get online, go to your likes of your OVOs, your British Gases, your Lowry Becks, or your Siemens or your Morrisons. Go into them and see when their apprenticeship program is, see when they're about. Try and talk to people if you know of anyone in.
It's very interesting from James Norton there, talking about the essential skills being more on the customer service side rather than the technical side, and also the fact that there are opportunities to move on afterwards, which we're also going to hear more from towards the end of Paul Mumford's, who's going to start off talking about kind of what the first year and what your training is like, and then moves on to further opportunities. So here's Paul Mumford.
I think, if I were them, I'd seriously consider it. But they need to go into it with eyes wide open. The first year is hard. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of effort required from you, over and above, because partway through that year, you go out into the field, fitting jobs on your own. That's where the scheme is designed. So you kind of doing your day job, but there's still little bits of work you need to do to get to the end of your qualification and your apprenticeship grading. So I think people need to enter it with eyes wide open, that this is hard work for the first year, but you almost need to cross the calendar months down to the point you go into year two where, you'll get that pay rise accordingly. And that's what you're working for. The first year is a means to an end to what it brings to you going forward. So I'd certainly tell people that they shouldn't be apprehensive about having never worked in gas or electricity before and be worried about, can they do it? Because the training is thorough and well designed to be able to take people from all sorts of backgrounds. Clearly, through the assessment process, we try and identify people we think have got higher degrees of chances of being successful in it, and equally try and identify people who we think are going to struggle, because we know what has worked before, what hasn't, and where people encounter problems and challenges that are really not overcomable. So we'd be fair, and in our assessment process, we try to identify people that would struggle with it. But people need to be open-minded and understand there's a lot of work involved. But if those two things that they understand and they're happy with, then it is a great career opportunity.
Well, I'm a firm believer in hard work pays off, and like you said, the first year, it's challenging. There's lots of information to take on board. It's all doable, but it is a challenge. And if you're 100% committed, it's it's a great opportunity. And I think just to reiterate as well with the opportunity, you get your tools, your uniform, your van, your gas qualifications, your electric qualifications, a sustainable role with progression opportunities that's in an industry that really you know, we thought a few years ago would have been where it needed to be with the smart rollout. But actually, you look at it and think there's a good 3, 4, maybe 5 years left in smart metering at least. Plus, there's transferable skills into other sectors.
Yeah, I think that leads on quite nicely, I guess, to another area to discuss. Yes, whilst we're going to be fitting smart meters much longer than any of us, well, I was going to say much longer than any of us anticipated. That's probably not quite right. I think from early days, everybody anticipated this was going to be going still quite heavily now. Whether we anticipated it'd be 25, 26, whatever it actually kind of starts to get to a conclusion, I don't know, but it certainly wasn't ever going to be done by 2020 from early days. But you're right, there's quite a few years left in this, and you know, certainly Search, and I can probably speak for all the businesses that are involved in smart metering that have built a workforce, are not going to be building a workforce to see it suddenly, you know, to want to see it just disappear. They're going to want to reskill operatives to whatever the opportunities are that come about over the next 3 or 4 years. You know, EV is probably one of them. It's an obvious one that people might link because there is some transferable skills. I mean, there's still some challenges to overcome with the governing bodies regards to that. But as the pressure gets on that industry to start installing more points, and they, you know, start to see the same skill shortages that Smart saw, which invariably will happen, then I think the governing bodies will become more open-minded about creating a route for what is probably a 90% good match of a person required to do an EV job. You know, create that route for that smart engineer to transfer, because 90% of the skills they need, they've got. It's just that, you know, final bit. So I'm certain that route will open itself up in a bigger way in the years to come.
So there we have it, getting into the smart metering industry with eyes wide open, ready to put the hard work in at the beginning, but the opportunities and the future is definitely bright. Even after the smart meter rollout is finished, there's still going to be opportunities to move on and retrain and take those skills onto the next stage. So thanks for listening to the Future Skills podcast. Please subscribe on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next one.